So last week we had the Sinulog festivities here in Cebu, and I thought it was a great idea to kind of get the Zhiyun Weebill S and test it out on the field. So I planned it out a bit and I contacted Shane, my cousin, who's also getting into photography, to join me and walk around the Grand Parade route. And we did that and we shot a few footage, and I kind of made a B-roll sequence for you guys to check out and the type of shots that I took. I tried using all of the modes available for the Weebill S, but unfortunately I was only able to use 4. Anyways guys, not to bore you with any of the details, here is the B-roll sequence I made for you. Enjoy! Alright, so before we get things started, let me just remove this here. And the reason why I removed that was because this thing I left at home. So I was basically just using this setup right here for the whole duration of our stay there in the Grand Parade route. Considering the weight of the whole gimbal and my camera and microphone setup, it's not the heaviest setup that you'd find, but kind of still I'm adjusting to the whole weight of everything. I usually just use a Gorilla Pod to do all my vlogs, but this time around with the added weight, I kind of had to get used to it, but once I did, it didn't really bother me as much. I'm also very impressed with the locking mechanism that the Weebill S has. So the tilt, roll, and pan axis can all be locked like this in place. Especially useful when you're not using it in any way and just want to store it away in the bag or somewhere else. Prevents the whole thing from moving and makes it completely safer. And when you want to adjust it and when you're trying to balance out the weight, it's very useful as well. We also have this connector here for the camera. The Weebill S is compatible with Panasonic, Sony, and Canon cameras. So if you have either of those cameras available, you can plug this into your camera with a corresponding cord that they also have, and you can click record here. So you don't have to go to your camera and manually click it. You can click record here and scroll through the wheel here to change your settings, like your ISO, your aperture, your shutter speed. Another thing that I want to note though is the focus wheel here. I did not use it because I just bought the Weebill S as a standalone package without accessories. But if I were to use this and buy the follow focus rig, then it would have been easier for me to do my zoom in shots, or if not, the focus into manuals, and I can just manipulate it over here. So for the different modes of the Weebill S, I was only able to do 4 out of 6. We have pan follow, POV, go mode, lock mode, selfie mode, and vortex mode. Vortex mode was kind of impossible for me to do since I had the EOS M50 with the DTV Mic D3 Pro attached at the top. What happens if I try to go and do the vortex mode, the microphone would hit the back end of the Weebill S and it would cause an axis lock error. So that was kind of frustrating for me to do. It was tightly packed in the Grand Parade route, and even the people dancing within the lines of the parade were not moving as fast as I expected, so I didn't find any suitable subject to try out the Go mode with. As for the POV mode, that was the default mode that I used going into the Grand Parade. I found it easier to manipulate the camera with the POV mode because I just swing it anywhere I want and it just slowly follows you around. The pan follow, I kind of had a difficulty because I found that it kind of tilted a bit, even though I double pressed the back button here, which basically rebalances the whole setup into the appropriate like angle. There's a setting on the Weebill S that I need to adjust to kind of like fix that, but I didn't have the time during that day to actually go into the settings here and do all of that. So I just went with POV mode instead. The selfie mode I kind of just did for a bit. I wasn't really vlogging or anything. I was just trying to look for some B-roll shots. Kind of weird though because I kind of had a hard time centering myself. Battery wise, I didn't have any problems with the Weebill S. We stayed there for 5 hours, and with most of it I had the Weebill S turned on. Sometimes I'd have it on sleep mode by holding down the POV button and it would kind of shut down the motors, and I just click on it I think twice again and it would turn it back on immediately. From a full charge, there's an indicator for the battery. It only kind of went halfway through. There's 4 bars and I think I was down to the last 2 before we eventually left the place. When it comes to the weight of the Weebill S and the whole camera and microphone setup, it wasn't much of a problem. I barely noticed it. I only did when we stopped filming and kind of rested and, you know, wasn't really holding it up properly, and I would feel that this hand over here would be tired, so I just move it out to the other hand. You know, it wouldn't have been a problem if I just had a removable tripod stand so I could mount it underneath, and I could just put it down on the ground or something like this. Easy. And I guess that's it for my breakdown on the Weebill S experience during the Sinulog Grand Parade. Hope you guys learned a few things about the Weebill S. If you guys have any comments or questions, please leave them down below. I'll try to make sure to answer them as much as I can or as much as I know. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up. If you didn't, please be kind to me. Leave a thumbs down and tell me what you didn't like about this video. And if you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to the channel. And I'll probably give you guys more of these tech videos with Weebill S, with something else, more better B-roll footage. I still have yet to do the vortex mode and the go mode, so we're gonna touch up on that in a future video. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one.